Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and Cheryl Hines perfectly defends her husband RFK Jr. against the spinsters on The View, and they wound up agreeing with her. Let's dive in.
This is not your fight, really, to be fighting. Yeah. This is your husband's fight.
Thank you for acknowledging that. But go ahead. But here's what we're talking about.
I do want to say, he's not a doctor and he's not a professional.
Yes.
And oftentimes when he's speaking, he is speaking not with the best information that we can get because, we could do a lot better with health stuff. And there's a lot of stuff he can do. And some of the things he's suggested take it out of the hands of my doctor and me and my OBGYN and me. And I wonder, does it give you pause and are you able to say, that might not actually be so? Because I've got my experience and I've lived with this and I'm still here. So are you able to have those conversations with her?
I am able to have those conversations. And just to be clear, 90% of secretaries of HHS have not been doctors.
But they've had a science background.
There have been 3.
Yeah.
No, to be honest. One of Obama's secretaries of HHS was an economist.
But the majority of them that haven't had medical backgrounds have had science background.
Wait, don't do anything else. Don't say anything else yet.
Because we
have to take a break.
I want to respond to both of these coming at us.
Yes.
Have another segment.
We'll be right back. Cheryl Hines and we had to take the break because we had to go to break. But
yes, but I just wanted to follow up. Because Bobby's background, everything I have seen him do, he has dedicated his career to suing big corporations because of toxins that have been affecting people's health, I should say. So, for instance, Monsanto. He was part of the team that sued Monsanto because of Roundup, a pesticide that was causing cancer.
With GMOs.
Right.
I know that.
He sued DuPont. He sued Exxon. And he sued these companies for health reasons because they were causing health problems.
But the problem, respectfully, is that your husband is the least qualified Department of Health and Human Services head that we've had in history.
I think
that's a very dangerous.
Why is he less qualified than an economist?
I think that he
possible?
is less qualified.
He has spent his career studying toxins, studying people's health, fighting for one guy who was using Roundup for his job.
He has also spread a lot of misinformation, a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion, and I think it's just a very dangerous thing. I say it with the utmost respect.
Some of it's good, and some of it's not. That's the point.
Listen, we all have different views here.
Yes.
And when you say, misinformation, disinformation, we could go back to COVID when...
He's connecting circumcision to autism.
May I finish?
Please.
When Fauci were saying when you get the vaccine, you cannot transmit COVID. It will stop COVID. And that was disinformation, misinformation.
We were also still learning about it. It was a novel virus we've never encountered before.
Right.
Because now the doctors will acknowledge that
and Dr. Fauci has a medical degree.
At the time, they were censoring Bobby because Bobby said, where's the science to show us this? And there wasn't any. But people attacked him and said, you're wrong. So it's like, let's take a step back. I know that's your opinion, and that's okay.
Cheryl, one thing that I think we can all agree on, and you're a big fan of with his is
what can we all agree
the MAHA
on?
movement, Make America Healthy Again. You praise your husband's campaign to make food and baby formula safer, which I think is something everyone can get on board with. Tell us about that.
Well, thank you. I am very proud of Bobby, and he has worked really hard to get a lot of, petroleum-based food dyes out of our food, which also, and finish the thought, even baby formula, now we're finding out there's arsenic, there's lead. So the question is, who is running HHS when they allowed lead and arsenic in a baby formula?
Thank you, Cheryl, for a fantastic defense of RFK Jr., but I think you could have gone one step higher. And it's tougher to do on The View because then you're going to be attacked by 4 other screeching banshees. There's another big fight that's actually happening in this video, and you might have missed it. It's okay if you did, because I'm going to explain it. The fight that's really going on in this video is the idea of the appeal to authority, which makes a lot of sense. We need to appeal to authority quite a lot. When we don't know something, if I don't know a fact in World War II, I type it into Google, and lo and behold, I find out what I was missing. I was quite literally making an appeal to someone else because someone else had the answer that I didn't have. That's how you're supposed to use authority. You are not supposed to use authority as a way to silence people who are saying true things and asking smart questions when you lack the ability to properly answer it and combat it. That is the big fight that's happening in this video. You have all these members of The View defending the old experts, the way things used to be, and defending the system as is. And it's wholly an un-American ideal. As a matter of fact, it's not just un-American, it's a European ideal. It has very little to do, actually, with the United States and the way we think down here, okay? We, in these 50 states here, between 3 oceans, we think differently than the Europeans. They have to have a stronger connectivity. They have to think in terms of these structures, or else their country is going to get conquered by another country that has a better structured system. We don't have that here in the United States. But we're starting to have it. And it's a problem because it's inherently anti-American. Here in the United States, our founding fathers were not experts. They just happen to be incredibly well-read and well-educated. And instead of having that same sort of mentality towards our own children, we put them into these machine mills that we call schools, and they pump out kids and diplomas without giving them real abilities to think about anything. That is an inherently un-American thing to do. That's a European thing. And it works over in Europe because that's the model they have to adopt. Because there's all these other countries competing against each other. As a matter of fact, the European Union is based on the United States model. And these members of The View are appealing to these authority figures like they know everything, when the reality is, not only do they not, there is no incentive in America for our authority figures to get things correct, because we don't have the same sort of structure and strata in our society that makes that basically feudal lord and peasant relationship work. You give a lot of money to your feudal lord, you're not going to get attacked by your local neighboring knights. We don't have that system here in the United States. You buy your own rifle and defend yourself, and maybe when the threats become too hostile, we'll all band together. We're kind of like the bison, or the buffalo. Technically, they're called bison. It can be a gregarious creature, but the male bison will often leave the herd just to hang out alone for a while. That's who we are as Americans. And so this appeal to authority idea makes sense on paper if the authority has the incentive to do the right thing. And that's why that system does not work in the United States. There is no real way to hold these people accountable, or at least get something out of this benefit. In Europe, a more stratified society, but you're going to be healthier. Okay? That's the trade-off that Europeans make. They trade their freedoms, they trade their abilities and their liberties for a government that works for them. Here in the United States, our government really does not work for us. Really, they work to protect us against ourselves. Or protect us against other people, and vice versa. We have completely different relationships with information than Europeans do. And that's what makes us so superior. And I quite literally mean the term superior. We're the ones that sell them the weapons. We're the ones that have bailed them out twice. And back-to-back World War champs, baby. The reason I'm talking about American superiority, and I'm having to deal with RFK Jr., is that he comes from practically, if America had royalty, the Kennedys would be royalty. But he goes against his own family, who are begging him to sit down and hush, because he's daring to go out there and explore the truth. That means you're going to get a few things wrong every now and then. I certainly do, and I want y'all to call it out when I get something wrong. That's the kind of mentality that Americans have, though. We love finding the truth. We don't need it told to us. And that's what The View is so afraid of, because they're so used to a system that does benefit them, but it doesn't really benefit their viewers. And that is the fundamental disconnect. That's why Cheryl Hines is going in there talking about what RFK Jr. is trying to do, and they're terrified of these changes. And because, deep down, if these changes work, it means the entire old system was wrong. The old Republican system, by the way, under George W. Bush and his father, Herbert Walker, that system has turned out to be wrong. It didn't work. As a matter of fact, it started failing right about 2005. Quite literally, everything started going wrong with Katrina. Arguably, everything started going wrong when we declared mission accomplished in Iraq. And we've had our own system having to come in and clean up all the gunk and the nonsense. Now we have something better. That doesn't happen on the Democrat side, though, because they like the European model. Ultimately, if they're wrong, they lose all of their power. And they kind of know they're wrong. And that's why they're afraid of RFK Jr. He is exposing the problems and admitting that, hey, these experts don't really know everything. The people manning our walls and defending the gates don't know what they're doing. I think it's time for new people, new blood, to man those positions and help make America healthy again. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. My name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Until then, y'all have a good one.